but you've been waiting for it for so long, but now it's finally here. The good thing is all of the things that you have done to prepare for this thing to get into your life is why this pivot is going to be very seamless for you. Hello, Capricorn. And welcome to SeaGoat Secrets. Hi, I am Kristen and I'm a healer. In this video, you are going to get a full rundown of Capricorn energy for this great home field, I guess, full moon, and how it affects you. I begin with the astrology and I end with a card reading. In the future, if you would like to follow along with these videos and map your transits, you can get your own personalized calendar made specifically by me for the SeaGoat Collective, and it will have all of your houses and what it is that you need to know for each moon transit. If at any point in this video you feel connected to my energy and you would like to become a client of mine, you can do so by joining this link here and also in the bio. I welcome you. And last but not least, you guys know I am a global citizen and I love connecting with all of you on a worldly and global level. So if you have not already, let me know where you're listening from in the comments and we can all connect and be a strong collective. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. Okay, so Capricorn, I'm late on this video, but you know what? That does not matter. What matters is the fact that this is literally the most powerful moon transit of the year for you. It's a pretty big moon transit for all of the collective. I mean, wow, right? We had the Capricorn full moon last time. In the middle, we have the Cancer new moon. And here we are kind of wrapping up with this beautiful Capricorn full moon to end things. And one of the biggest things that I wanted to address as we go back and revisit, because we always do, the reflections of the moon prior. In this case, we're going to discuss both the Cancer new moon and the last Capricorn full moon before we get into this month. But one of the biggest things I wanted to say is, how is this transformation going for you? You guys have been changing so much. Like I mentioned during the Capricorn full moon, you are going to change so much during this time period. And for most of you, it's happened on a deeply internal level, and then how it's showing up on the outside external level. So how's that going? I know it's going well, as I've spoken to many of you in the collective, and as we've been doing this dance in the healing circle, which is our membership here on YouTube, so much has been going on in terms of knowing who it is that you are and adding numbers, I guess, right? Like knowing your value and adding numbers. But nonetheless, okay, so let's go back and revisit. So I'm going to combine the two. So first we started with the initial Capricorn full moon, which was very empowering. For most of you, it just kind of put a pep in your step and opened your eyes to who it is that you are, and not even just your value like some of the moon transits have been doing, but just like the possibilities and giving you that kick of empowerment that you've been needing for some time. Now, that in combination with the Cancer new moon was definitely much more emotionally riveting. The Cancer new moon kicked up a lot of shadows for you guys in your 7th house, because as you're going through relationship renewal, along with this Saturn in Pisces retrograde and Chiron being retrograde in Aries, there is so much tied to your relationships going back to 2019, in terms of patterns tied to your home environment, your relationship narrative, and what it is that you will no longer do and will no longer tolerate when it comes to relationship dynamics. Now, for some of you, this could have shown up in a way where it actually showcased itself literally in your relationships, meaning some relationships you pulled in, some you let go of. It's been getting easier and easier to disconnect from people that you feel like do not serve you. If you guys dealt with any form of codependency, especially when we're looking at Cancer, these kind of things come up and are unearthed for you. In terms of where you maybe fall short when it comes to being too dependent on others, or how you could possibly become more dependent in your connections through the right people. The good thing is, despite the shadows that showed themselves, because obviously with these retrograded planets, what the Divine Mother is trying to do for you is to change you so that you're bringing in better connections. Kind of like what we talked about in the Saturn Pisces video, which is, I think, titled as June to November. This whole time period is about using your sacred scars to rebuild connections. So some of you could be rebuilding connections from the past, like reconciling with others, and for others of you, it could just be building new connections with souls that feel familiar, but in a good way. Not karmically familiar, but familiar to your soul memory. So people that are entering your life that just immediately you feel very comfortable with. Friendships that feel like soulmates, right? Love relationships that just feel like they work. And career relationships and partnerships that people are really opening the door for you, and it's happening in a much more seamless way, like almost as if where you have come up with a lot of self-contentment, especially after that Cancer new moon, because it was really emotionally uprooting for you. Many of you guys could have found yourselves kind of in a blanket of maybe past pains or traumas, kind of putting you in a bit of an edgy space. And I think, but yeah, an edgy space when it came to your connections. And so this could have put you in a space where you wanted to disconnect. But it feels like as you've disconnected from others, people are pulling closer towards you. And it's interesting because along here now with things post Cancer new moon, the energy is starting to get lighter and the empowerment is pushing back into you as we are here in the Capricorn full moon energy. This is going to be panning out over the next 2 weeks in its heightened state, but also this is a big transformational energy for the remainder of the year. So what you're going through right now in July is preparing you for who you will be in your season. So the level of self-care that you practice, the empowerment that you feel, the ideas that you have for yourself in terms of your visions, your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, and most importantly, relationship renewal. So how is it that your connections and your relationships can actually serve in your favor? Many of you guys, like I said, because of what happened with the Aries Chiron, rupturing your space of home not only externally, but home within the body. And that then came in the form of issues in the home in many different ways. Feeling at home in your work environment, feeling at home in your friendships, feeling at home in your relationships, right? If your space of stability, if your root chakra is feeling like it has instability, this is going to create an instability in all of your relationships and your connections, which then goes on to create a codependency in terms of feeling like you have to overly latch to hold on to others instead of feeling like relationships are actually serving you. And the Saturn in Aquarius did the same thing. It put you guys in a space of scarcity to awaken you to what it is that you needed to do to reform your finances, leading you here into the Aquarian Pluto age. So all of these burdens tied to your connections and your partnerships, and some of them could have gone all the way back to childhood, are coming up to, again, be unearthed and to allow you to swim through different waters so that you can create connections that actually work in your favor and have things feel like the giver is finally being given to, the waterer is finally being watered. And it's a really, really good time for you and a good energy. But the biggest thing during this time period as we go on into November, well, from here into November, is all about you learning how to close the book on the past. And it's not to say it's going to be the easiest experience, but again, new connections are coming in to help you do so. So let's get into the Capricorn full moon now. I'm sorry, those reflections are quite long, but like I said, this is a very powerful transit for you guys. And so as we look at this time around for this moon, again, it's all about empowerment and getting the pep back in your step, especially after a very watery, very emotionally uprooting Cancer new moon. And what you're going to see is obviously you're getting an identity renewal that's happening in your first house, in the I house, the I am presence, the I am energy. And you guys want to really know who it is that you are. Again, not hold back on who it is that you are or what it is that you want to do for yourself. But most importantly, other people are seeing you for who it is that you are too. And if they don't, it's almost like you're bursting through whatever clouds or projections or blockages, as if you are kind of kicking down the wall in that sense, right? Like you do not want to hold back anymore. This has kind of been leading up since I would say May, when you had a lot of that Taurian energy pushing through your fifth house, awakening your ideas of personal pleasure and identity. And this is here happening now as we're in July, and this Capricorn full moon leading us into Leo season for you is all about, I want to be exactly who it is that I am. And Leo is your eighth house, so it's your shadow placement, right? And as you're sitting in this shadowy energy of Leo, but also this way in which Leo being your eighth house can mean that you guys can struggle when it comes to things like bringing in pleasure into your life, knowing how to manage pleasure, and most importantly, knowing how to just be comfortable in your own skin, to not want to adapt to the audience, to not want to adapt to the idea of status. It's really about embracing who it is that you are in your full glow and your full glowy light in that sense, really wanting to be who you really are. For this full moon, I would say to look at your Chiron placement and your midheaven and also your eighth house, okay, in terms of your chart. And if you need help, obviously just come to me. But analyze those three placements in order to understand some of the things that you feel as if though you're fighting against, right? So your Chiron is where you are aligned with your wounds, right? So the wounds that you come into this lifetime with. Analyze your Chiron and see where the placement is, and it'll help you understand this, almost like this invisible thing that you feel like you're fighting, that this Capricorn full moon is saying to you. It's backing you up in terms of you being able to put a big punch into this energy and push against it. The midheaven is where your life path is. And in this case, I would say North Node as well, but I don't want to give you guys too many things to look at. You can look at your midheaven or your North Node or your North Node in terms of helping you understand what to focus on. So your Chiron is good to help you know where your wounds are along with your eighth house. So combine the two and or the eighth house or the Chiron to look at where your traumas are and what you feel like you're fighting, and look at your North Node and your midheaven to focus on how you can better embody those energies, the energies of those signs and or houses. So yeah, sorry, my foot fell asleep. Ow. Okay. All right. Okay. So when we're looking at things tied to this I am presence energy, it's important to understand here that you want to focus on how you can better align with your dream identity self, which means the you that you are when you're not trying to adapt to anything outside of you. And most importantly, the you that you aspire to be. A lot of you guys are starting new work projects that are going to be majorly transformational in terms of your life path. Again, like I said, a lot of people are seeing you. A lot of people want to work with you. A lot of people want to align with you. In terms of love as well, you guys are having a lot of eyes on you. Either potentially a very strong partner can be coming in for you, or if you're in a relationship, there's a renewal in terms of how your partner is seeing you and the things that they want to do. You guys can find maybe, again, old people wanting to rekindle things, or if you're in a relationship, your partner really wanting to do the best to make sure that they can restore the relationship, heal it. They don't really want to lose you. There's something about your energy that's giving off people not wanting to lose you, people not wanting to lose sight of you. You know, there's kind of a glow that you're kind of giving off, and it's leading you up to a powerful finish in terms of the end of the year. You guys are wrapping up this Chiron energy very, very well, and this is a part of the power in terms of you doing so. So the plans that you had for yourself in the first half of the year that felt like they were moving very slowly are going to move very quickly now that you're here. You're already starting to see that. You're starting to see how things that maybe you projected during your season are actually able to come into fruition now. Finalizing on certain paperwork, documents, things seeing finality, especially as we have this beautiful Jupiter trining with the Gemini Mars placement as well. So these two things are making me very happy in terms of what we see for Capricorn energy, because Gemini is your 6th house. So as we see this Jupiter along with this Mars, it's giving you a lot of luck when it comes to being able to get things done, especially as you focus on the little details. There's a lot of brilliant ideas that are moving through you as well, like the awakening of your genius, and also luck tied to contracts, legal matters as well, money matters, but money matters in terms of the little details. If you are needing a loan, this is a great time to get one. If you have to file for anything, this is a great time to do so. There is a forgiveness and there is a grace happening in your energy. So things that could have been going on for a very long time can now see a beautiful close in your favor. Okay. And this karma can work very, very well and seamless for you because you're no longer invisible in this sense. Again, the divine mother is working in this beautiful way where there is luck in these 6th house areas. So another thing is with health as well. So if you've been dealing with a little bit of health issues, or even if they're not big health issues, it could be like weight, for example. You can find weight kind of falling off of you a little bit, things kind of easing down, being able to do things now that you weren't able to do before. There's a certain lightness that's happening in your energy, especially after such an emotionally intense Cancer new moon. But the intensity of that Cancer new moon, again, was because it was leading you to where you are now. There are things that you needed to recall and remember and understand, so that you did not repeat those cycles now moving forward. So you knew what it is that you wanted to do and who it is that you wanted to have around you. Because relationship renewal is not just about relationships or family relationships. It's you that's changing. The identity within yourself has to align with the kind of connections that actually serve you. You had to shift within your internal chemistry in order to call in the energies and the people that actually serve who it is that you truly are and what it is that you want to create for yourself. So that shift can come with a lot of difficulty and a lot of memory. You know, the traumas of the Pluto and Capricorn transit, which was not so easy on you, you know, having to really look in the face of certain patterns and realize that you came out on top, or you're here now and you're not there where you once were. And how is it that you can ensure that you do not end up in the same place again and allow yourself to ease into new connections that understand your wounds, that hold space for you to have grace when it comes to the things that you have experienced. And in fact, how can you transition that energy to work now for your favor? Again, a lot of brilliant, beautiful ideas are moving through you, whether it is career-wise, there's a height in career as well. You're going to be in this energy for the remainder of the year when it comes to big career success. Mainly because your career means something deeper to you than it has in the past. All that you have awakened in terms of your emotions, your survival point, many of you are now operating in the SeaGoat soul, you know, no longer kind of allowing yourself to be dry like the mountaintop, especially if you're part of my collective, right? So that awareness and that openness that you have acquired is, many of you have learned to combine your spiritual energy with your work energy, whether it is actually being in spiritual based careers or work, starting new businesses tied to that, or it could have been businesses tied to health matters as well, like fitness. And lastly, just using your intuition more at work, using your intuition in terms of, or your spiritual practices in terms of being able to navigate your workplace environments, especially if you're business owners or something along those lines. Many of you guys in the client circle, we've been doing so much work tied to this energy. So you guys know what I mean in terms of using your spiritual body to attract more financial success, but also attract more career success in general, to really awaken the possibilities in terms of your footprint and what it is that you can do, not only for the collective, but how your career can be a mode of emotional release as well as spiritual alignment. So that has been very good, and that's been unearthing inside of you. And this is going to continue to act itself out throughout the remainder of the year, and also the first half of the next year, because this is the Jupiter transit. This is the 6th house awakening for you. So as we're sitting here with Mars now, and combining with this Jupiter and Gemini, it's a great time for a lot of fast movement when it comes to your career. Gemini trines very well, or I guess sits very well with Aquarius, and it's all fast energy because it's air. So things that you have been thinking about for a very long time can actually happen. Ideas that you have been putting out for a very long time can actually see themselves come into a completion, and things can move forward very well and very abundantly. So that is exciting in terms of this energy. So yeah, I would say that these are some of the big topics when it comes to this moon in general. But most importantly, I really want you guys to sit with this energy. I want you to really understand yourself and allow yourself to dive into the deeper parts of who it is that you are without apology. This is about you. Okay. So if you can spend this next 2 weeks really focused in completely and totally in yourself, okay, kind of pull back from other people if you can, and try to spend as much time discovering yourself, unraveling yourself, and allowing yourself, okay? Because you are changing. You have been changing, and this full moon brings you into, again, the completions of the things that you put out, the projections that you put out during your season back in January. And then also here, when it comes to being able to put to bed karmic completions, karmic energy, seeing the end of the Pluto transit, karmic cycles. So many things can end with this moon that have been themes that have been playing out for a very long time, and they renew as the next half of the year comes into fruition. So as you're shifting from who you were into who it is that you are, allow yourself to do this with grace, okay? Water yourself. I don't think that this moon will bring about too much of a deep shadow. I think it is all about empowerment, kind of like the last one, but we will see in terms of the card reading with the energy that comes out. I think I'll do, kind of like I did in one of the other videos, I'll put in a little bit of a guided meditation for this video. Again, you can get your personalized guided meditation from me. I think this is a good time to do so if you guys need them, especially for this moon. I can try to get as many done as I can within this 2-week window. But again, keep in mind this energy is playing out for the next 6 months as well. So I can do a personalized one for you, but right now I'm going to do a guided meditation for us for this moon. And I guess I will do it at the end of this video to make it a little bit easier in terms of going through the normal process with starting here with the astrology and ending with the card reading. So yeah, so that's your astrology. We're going to get into the reading now. Let's begin, shall we? So hi, Capricorn. What do we have going on for this full moon? First things first, we've got the Ace of Pentacles moving at the top here. So obviously new stable beginnings. Whenever I see this Ace of Pentacles, it's exciting because it is a Capricorn full moon. It is the moon of manifestation, the moon of finances, the moon of career exaltation, right? When we think of Capricorn, we want to see that Ace of Pentacles, a new stable beginning, a new stable reality. A shift beyond what was, right? And being able to create what is now, especially after moving through the swords, which brings about so much psychological turmoil. Next to this, ironically enough, we have the 8 of Swords. And that's what we see here, the 8 of Swords. And to my, I guess to no surprise in that sense, right? It's like we've got a new beginning and then we've got insecurity. But the good thing is this is self-imposed insecurity. So the way in which you're thinking of yourself and how you're worried about how things are going to pan out, kind of getting in your own way. And at the bottom there, we've got the Page of Cups. So it's a very simple story in terms of you having a new stable beginning, but being insecure, self-imposed, and needing to lighten up, really, and kind of going back and forth between that. So that's the energy that's going on right now. Almost like you're uncertain that you can, right? Yeah, unsure of the future, right? Unsure of the future, not almost like you're worried about what it is that will happen, or if this new beginning is actually stable, if it's actually going to work in your favor, and you can in fact get what it is that you want. And when we look at the Ace of Pentacles, that in my opinion is stronger than an Ace of Cups, because an Ace of Cups is a new emotional beginning, right? It's a renewal in that sense. When we look at the Ace of Pentacles, this stable beginning is here whether you can see it come into fruition or not, whether you are secure in it or not. You are in a new paradigm, but obviously you're scared. You're scared and you're worried. And you're also dealing with some kind of sadness as well. When we see separation, we've got sadness, missing you, thinking of you, yearning, unsure of the future. And this comes along with happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness. In this sense, these don't necessarily feel romantic for me, although if you are dealing with a romantic situation, it could be, again, separation does not feel like it is in alignment. It feels more like unsureness of the future. What will happen? You could be in a temporary separation with someone, or temporarily separated from the destiny in which you wish to fulfill. So it could be temporarily separated from your goal, needing to finalize some paperwork, get through some moments that you've kind of been putting off, or waiting on an answer to come into fruition. Or again, if it's a romantic situation, you could be in a temporary separation from whoever it is that you are interested in. And this can leave you feeling insecure, unsure of the future, again, like an instability. But at the bottom there, we've got that this is an equalized balance, right? If it is a partnership or a connection, this is an equilibrium here. There is an equal give and take here, and you really just need to lighten up. I like this energy a lot because it feels very simple. I mean, even how I feel right now when I'm reading it, it's very lighthearted. It's very simple. I was looking for more empowerment when it came to these, or this reading, at least thus far. And it's really just about a situation, an experience. And I guess that isn't much of a surprise, in the sense of, if you are feeling evolved and strong within yourself, then things in your life, or obstacles within your life, would feel more simple, right? They would feel kind of easier to go through. Like, it is just a simple decision. But it's not to ignore that Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is strong there. You're obviously worried. You're obviously anxious. You're obviously scared, right? But it's a reassurance of understanding that it's an equal give and take. In your shadow, we've got more minor arcanas. We've got the Two of Pentacles with the Two of Swords. Again, the Two of Pentacles is in reverse, and then the Two of Swords is upright. In this deck, the Two of Pentacles is the Two of Cowrie in reverse, and the Two of Cutlass upright. And so when we look at the Two of Cowrie in reverse, a lot of that is about you feeling like you're not able to juggle this situation as it is. And also being fearful about juggling disappointment, right? What does it mean to not get what it is that you want, or feeling like this is not, like, as if this is not the direction you need to go in, fear of instability, fear of not being able to handle it, not being able to carry it, not being able to move forward with it as it is. Again, juggle the outcomes, or juggle the new opportunity within that own right. And when we look at the Two of Cutlass, it's fear that you cannot trust your intuition. So it's like, can I actually handle this? And is this stress something that I can take on, or am I overlooking, or am I looking at this situation as if it is more stressful than it needs to be, right? It's rooting yourself in that sense of Can you handle this, or can you balance it? And then also, when it comes to the Two of Swords, it's saying, can I even trust it? Can I close my eyes and do this trust fall in terms of what it is that it is, and where we will go with this, and am I actually going in the right direction? But we have so much. This is all feels so minor. It all feels like something that is like the jitters, almost like a nervousness or an anxiety in that sense about something that feels maybe a little bit too easy. Is the issue that it doesn't have enough resistance, ego? Are you scared because it's not resisting you? When we look at go against the grain along with seeing the true you, that's very self-explanatory. Do something different. Allow yourself to go in a different direction. It feels like whatever it is that is this new stable reality for you, this new paradigm shift, it is about you being who you truly are. So if it is a career change that you're making, you could be making a career shift that shows people who it is that you are, right? Like when you step out into the stage of your life, now people are having to see you as clear as day. And it could be making you nervous and or scared about embracing this kind of truth in terms of yourself, because it can feel like it's almost like you're being inauthentic when you are truly being authentic. But if you've been hiding yourself or kind of being in the background for a while, it can feel really nerve-wracking in that sense. Also, if it's a relationship as well, it can be a relationship where the person truly does align with who it is that you are and who it is that you have always wanted to be. But it can, again, if you have been kind of hiding yourself or being single for a while or something along those lines, there's something about it that requires you to do something different. And for you guys, your difference is leaning more into your authenticity without apology. And it's, secretly, when it comes to Capricorn placements, there's always this desire to kind of be in the background, even if the light is shining itself on you, you know. And a lot of that, you know, the projection can be the Capricorn personality of being cool, calm, and collected, right? But on the other side, a lot of it comes from being misunderstood. And you guys have such an intense uniqueness about you as being the SeaGoats. And your uniqueness is not rooted in your ego. It's something that goes against choice, right? That's why I always say you guys are the opposite of Aquarius, where Aquarius leans into trying to be different, trying to be unique, because it's where their ego space is. But the energy itself is born in Capricorn, in that sense of being the individual, being a seagoat, for goodness sake, you know, like a literal mythical creature that is unseen to this day, you know. A lot of you, your uniqueness is something that many of you guys can look at as a point of trauma and try to just kind of pull yourself back, step out of the limelight, and then present to the world a very kind of cookie cutter version of yourself, so that you can sit in the 10th house without any problems, you know. But in this case, you going against the grain means being who you truly are. You've been having to be forced into your authenticity for a while now. And this year alone gave you a lot of not only grace, but a lot of grit. Again, like we've talked about in the past, when it comes to this energy of your authenticity, you have to go against the grain, do it differently. So if it's the career path, give it all you've got, because it's showing your authenticity, not only to other people, but to yourself, being fully in yourself. And if it's a connection, this person will awaken who it is that you are. They will align you with your truest self. If it's not career or love or whatever the paradigm is that you're walking into, it's about authenticity, for you being comfortable with what it is that you see in the mirror. Right? Outside of all of the smoke and the experiences or the baggage or the past or the people that try to hold on to you and all of these things, where are you sitting at the end of all of this? Where are you on the outside of this? You have to do things differently than you've done them before by allowing yourself to open into this new paradigm. And the anxiety makes sense. The fear makes sense, right? Especially as you sit in this kind of waiting period. But you have to have faith that this union is coming together, and the union and by union, I mean whatever it is that you are aligning with, how you align with your paradigm, whatever that may be. So let's go into the healing points. All right, so with Bath Call, we've got eschew complicated explanations as you seek the simplicity of the deepest truth of your heart. Gently but firmly cast aside that which does not resonate as being true for your heart. Focus upon and speak from a higher spiritual perspective. All prayers are answered at the perfect time and in the perfect way. You have a powerful voice which can foster healing and wisdom on the planet. Yeah, it's separating yourself from your anxieties. So you can speak yourself, you guys are so powerful, right? You can speak yourself into a dark place. The more you allow your fears to create the reality around you that you no longer want. If you want it, speak it into existence. I will have this outcome. I desire this outcome. And most importantly for you guys, I deserve this outcome. I deserve what it is that I want. I deserve what I desire. That's better. I deserve what I desire. And understanding that you deserve what you desire, that's where it is that you need to be right now in terms of taking these steps. Because your anxieties are kind of putting you in a space where you're stressing yourself out, and also you're scaring yourself. Especially when we look at this card here, there's so much going on around her crown, and in so many ways that can read as a noise, as a madness in that sense. It's separating from the overthinking and allowing yourself to sit within a space where it says, I desire this. This will come to me. This is mine. And when we look at perfume, this is an earth energy. So we've got fire and earth, volcanic, birth of a new reality, perfect for the Ace of Pentacles. You'll be able to sense the best timing and approach to take to create space for healing and resolution. Connect your body and ground yourself in the here and now with bodily friendly practices. You'll find your way intuitively and instinctively, even through confusing circumstances. We go back to the intuition when it comes to the shadow space being the Two of Swords. You're questioning your intuition. You're worried that your intuition is going to lead you into a painful situation, or it's not going to give you what it is that you want. And we see that there with the Eight of Swords as you're sitting and swimming in insecurity because you're unsure of what's going to happen in the future. You're unsure about what it is that's going to take place. But as we sit back with the Page of Cups, it's telling you to lighten up. Lighten up your energy. Where one moment you are sure the answer is no, and the next moment you are sure the answer is yes. Complicated explanations. Give up trying to figure out the answer right now and remain open with positive but relaxed expectation that clarity shall emerge spontaneously according to divine timing. So again, there's just something about this next 2 weeks that is for this Capricorn full moon that has you in a waiting period. And it can cause the anxiety, right? Cause the insecurity. You're sure about the fact that you're going to get what it is that you want, but you're nervous. You're sure that this is going to come into fruition, but you're nervous. And it's in the patience, you know, as many of you guys have had to be tested in terms of patience for a very long time. And patience is hard to acquire in general. And the weight that many of you have had to experience has felt really over exaggerated, right? And not to say you're over exaggerating it, but it feels like the universe in that sense is pulling you through the ringer when it comes to this. So even this moment of a little bit more weight is a part of what's causing a lot of this anxiety. Even though you do feel this sureness, it's a sureness built with fear, right? Built with the kind of like a scared feeling. And that's where we have that anxiety. But it's asking you to go a different route. At the bottom of the advice deck, we've got the perfection of your life, right? So it's believing in and understanding the perfection of your life, that you can in fact achieve this. The manifestation when it comes to that energy, understanding what it is that you can create for yourself. At the bottom of the clarity deck, we've got swords, clarity, truth, solidarity, force, honor, power, protection. There is protection in the truth in terms of what it is that you need to know. Let's dive a little bit deeper into this. At the bottom of the healing deck, we've got Theta of Venus. A Theta of Venus, and I will read this for you as well before we step into some more clarity. right, so this is a water energy. So we started with fire, earth, and now here we are in water. Attune yourself to higher consciousness by choosing to access the purest frequencies of love within. Acknowledge lower frequencies such as judgment, fear, doubt, or shame when they arise within or around you, but do not give them a foothold on your heart. Yes, this energy is very strong here in terms of how it embodies or envelops these two modes of advice when it comes to bath call and perfuma Sophia. You're ready for a higher understanding, to see things in a new and more positive light. Allow your inner knowing to guide you on a unique, beautiful, and highly spiritual path, right? Separating yourself from the anxiety, separating yourself from the war that's going on inside of you that is saying that you cannot get what it is that you desire. Allow that clarity to come in and give you the protection over your own heart. There is an ability to create the ideal life for yourself through this new beginning, right? Through this new stable beginning. So let's get a little bit of clarity here. All right, so we've got, what is it that you need to be doing? Oh, wow. Just kind of created a whole shift there, right? Doing, thinking, feeling. Okay, what to expect. Direction. Okay. So when we've got what it is that you need to be doing, especially for you guys, this is big if love in itself has played a role in your life where it is a part of your karma. For those of you who are watching yourself step into a new love paradigm, it's allowing yourself to step out of a space that is so hyper independent. If you are allowing yourself to step into a new position or a new job, again, it's allowing yourself to separate from being hyper independent. If you were used to a work environment where you had to self-isolate, or even if you're in the same position, it's stepping out of self-isolation, right? It's how do I allow myself to expand with others, right? Opening myself to others. That's how this new paradigm comes into fruition. If you're starting a new project, whatever it is that you're doing, again, it goes back into the space of separating from being the underdog, getting out of the dark in that sense, because in a lot of ways that is kind of allowing yourself to sit in hyper independence in that sense, versus putting yourself out there is allowing yourself to connect more, right? Walking into the room and allowing the energies to kind of gravitate towards you. When we see what it is that you need to be feeling, we've got the Hierophant. The Hierophant is lovely. We've got the first major arcana here. So that's a deep, intense mode of emotion in terms of where it is that you need to be. The Hierophant is lovely, especially when it comes to inclusive energy, allowing people to bring themselves toward you, draw in a connection for you. It's also understanding that you're a leader in your own right on a spiritual level. Now, it's not to say that all of you are obviously in spiritual practices, but you have evolved spiritually. You've evolved in terms of your character, in terms of your connection with the divinity within yourself. And so you can open yourself and allow yourself to connect in a way that is more soulful and more spiritual in that sense. You know your wisdom. You are a person of wisdom and clarity and balance, and that is something that you need to embody in terms of what it is you need to be feeling. It's also understanding that you are guided and protected as well, and also, again, bringing it back to partnerships. It could be that there is a serious commitment that's in front of you that you can actually allow yourself to step into. But in terms of the self, it's bringing it back into this space of trusting that you are in this Hierophant energy and you're respected and appreciated as that. That wisdom that you have is a part of your new social archetype. For next, we have doing, thinking, feeling. It's understanding that you're on the path of, I was going to say on the Seven of Pentacles. You're on the right path. So it's knowing that the steps that you take, you are on the right path to getting what it is that you want. The Seven of Pentacles is In my opinion, it's one of my favorites in terms of getting the confirmation for what it is that you need in order to keep moving forward. Do you step back or do you go straight? And in this case, regardless of your anxieties, you are in the right place. Regardless of the things that may seem like you are nervous or scared or they're not going to work out, you are on the right path. That is a part of what can help you stop overcomplicating yourself and your mind and your sense of, I guess, internal peace in that sense, your anxieties and your fears. It tames that energy when you understand that. And I'm sorry if I said feeling when it came to the Hierophant. It's the same thing that applies in terms of thinking, right? But the Seven of Pentacles is what I meant in terms of feeling, knowing that you're on the right path. What it is that you need to expect is direction. Do not deviate from your path. Attract a mentor of. Sorry about that. I had a brief cutoff, but the paradigm is you being in the right place. It's you moving in the right direction. And also, when we look at outcomes planning, where it is that you want to be, it's the outcome is, okay, here you are, you're in a new path, you're in a new direction, and it's about taking the next steps now that you've gotten what it is that you wanted. I can't help but feel like this new, this Ace of Pentacles energy is something that you've been longing for, something you've been yearning for, something you've been wanting. And even then, so when you get typical of Capricorn energy, sorry, again, another cutoff, but you're going to get it and you're just going to pivot. Right? So it's like, finally, I've been waiting so long for this thing, and here it is, and this brand new reality is opening up for me. Now how do I make my next steps? I've been waiting for this. And in the longing, it's like it's almost like it immediately gets satisfied, and now you're in a new place, right? You're in a new paradigm, you're in a new direction, and you're ready to take the steps necessary to lead to the new reality opening up, right? So it's almost like the Ace of Pentacles comes in, it opens the door. It's like, okay, this thing that you've been longing for is now here, and you take it and you pick it up and you say, great. Almost like like running with a ball or something, right? It's like, but you've been waiting for it for so long, but now it's finally here. But the good thing is all of the things that you have done to prepare for this thing to get into your life is why this pivot is going to be very seamless for you. It's like, pick it up and move it. Almost like it's not even as big of a thing that it once was for you months ago, right? It's interesting how life happens in that way. Also, at the bottom of this of the tarot deck, we've got the World. The end of a cycle, the beginning of a new one. The end of a cycle, and at the bottom of the career deck, we've got good luck. Good luck with all responsibilities and duties. Take your chances. Yeah, you're in the right place. Congratulations. Okay, so that was your reading, and I want to get into a small meditation now. And I just wanted us to kind of build this energy together. Taking a deep breath. And this breath is going to be taken in through your nose, and I want you to have your mouth closed. And then when I say release, you're going to do a deep release out through the mouth. So in. And out. What a release. So I'm going to begin with a little bit of affirmation. I deserve what I desire. What I desire is already mine. I deserve what I desire. What I desire is already mine. I am the governor of my reality. I'm fully empowered in my reality. I am sovereign. I am still. Let's breathe again. And out. And in this fullness, I am free. My potential is fully realized. I am fully realized. Thank you, Capricorn. I will see you again soon. I love you. Ciao.